So let's address this now, because Mike Malone did get fired.
Which we talked about a little bit.
Yeah, we said we would get more into this. One, I wasn't too surprised because there's been smoke coming out of Denver. Matt Moore, who I work with also at Action Network, who's been plugged in there, has been saying all year, like it's just not on steady ground over there, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, in terms of the coach-GM relationship. I was under the impression that maybe one would go and both of them would.
Good defense.
Apparently.
Excellent
Great
defense by OG Anunoby.
Right now, that series would be against, would still be against the Pistons. We'll see if it's going to be the Pistons or the Bucks. If it's against the Pistons, Thibodeau's out. If it's against the Bucks and Dame is back, we don't know if Dame's going to be back, but then I think it's a discussion, but I don't know. I don't think Thibodeau should be fired if they lose in the first round, but
yeah, I think
I understand from a philosophical standpoint, like, would people look at this as a Mark Jackson into Steve Kerr if you could find one situation, especially with Mike Malone and Taylor Jenkins, like
being on the market.
You have good coaches out there.
I was joking.
Two coaches who some people would say both of them are better than Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, I was joking with Ryan being messy because, I mean, like, yeah, I think if he gets fired in the first round this season, let's just keep it a buck, it's a failure. If they lose in the first round, it's a failure.
I think even if you lose,
and I don't use that word all the time, but you can't. This Knicks team is constructed for this year cannot lose in the first round. They lose in the second round in a hard-fought series to the Celtics. That's a different story.
Hard-fought, but
if they get their ass handed to them,
yes,
and they get swept, or it's a gentleman's sweep,
yes,
there's also going to be fire. The seat. I won't even say the seat is hot. The seat's going to be on fire.
If the Celtics beat the Knicks in the second round of the playoffs in 4 or 5 games, and the point differential is big.
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau, like that's
trouble.
That's at least a discussion, because if you're looking at the Knicks and you're like, man, we could get Mike Malone. He's got New York ties also, not for nothing. That's a small thing, but he's won a title as a head coach.
I like Mike Malone. I would say this
depends
too.
on the playoffs ultimately.
I would say that it depends on the playoffs, and obviously the team is so linked with what Jalen Brunson wants as a captain, and there's a bunch of Tibbs guys. If Jalen Brunson wants him here, he's going to be here. But if somehow he's not aligned with the organization, I tweeted this earlier today. If you're an NBA coach in this league, your time is limited. You're on borrowed time. Always. Unless you are in lockstep with the GM and the ownership.
So,
there are literally only 3 coaches I could say that about. Eric Spoelstra in Miami.
Yes.
Greg Popovich
yes.
in San Antonio. And Steve Kerr with the Warriors.
That's it.
The rest of y'all just hoping it works out.
And those are maybe the 3 most successful franchises of the last 20 years. That's the other thing.
Shows you
know,
successful franchises. Maybe everybody needs to be on the same page. And maybe we're all saying it's crazy that Malone got fired today and Booth got the boot. But maybe Kroenke, the owner, was looking and said, y'all ain't all on the same page, so y'all got to go. And sometimes
they were going to do it after the season anyway.
So why not? So I think the thing we're learning now, when we look at what the Grizzlies did, when you look at what the Nuggets did, if you're going to fire him after the season, maybe it's not crazy. Get a look at this interim coach while you get through the playoffs. See what you got and see if that's what you want to go with, instead of just taking a whole new search. Maybe the guy you want to lead you for the future is actually there. Maybe that is. Maybe he's not.
Yeah, and Malone and Jenkins are guys that are going to get jobs right away. If Thibodeau gets let go, I don't know if would he get a job right away? Like, what team would be like Tom Thibodeau would, like, you know what I mean? He's had many opportunities. I think he's obviously a good enough coach. Like, he's one of the better coaches in the NBA. But I do wonder, because Mike Malone's firing was shocking. Taylor Jenkins' firing is shocking.
Shocking indeed.
For a lot of people, especially the timing. Tom Thibodeau's would be surprising, but he's also had opportunities in different places.
Yeah, it's his 3rd head coaching gig.
You know, I think he'd get another one, but who? You know, would it be Memphis?
I don't know if it would be soon either. I think it could be a couple of years. I could see him go back to TV, maybe a year.
Yeah.
But we'll see what's going on.
I'm telling you, like, unless they really push Boston in round 2, like that's a real competitive series, then it's a conversation worth considering. Like, And the conversation becomes, does Mike Malone take you to the next level? The issue with that, though, is what if you have him and it gets worse? And you would say, Bryan, like that just kind of happens sometimes. Like, that's the risk you take. But also, he doesn't have Nikola Jokic. I'm not saying.
I think Mike Malone's a good coach.
I think he is
good
too.
Stuff with this roster.
I think he is too. I'm not saying he's a Jokic merchant, but it's different. You know?
I like that Jokic merchant.
It's different. Like, he doesn't have the best player in the world now, who also happens to be the best problem solver in basketball, who also happens to be like the elixir for everything that Denver does. Like, he's just the best. So when you don't have the best player in the world, and you have two guys who are really, really good, but both of them are outside the top 5'10", you know,
good pass.
It's a great pass. We'll see, but I don't know. I don't think the Mike Malone thing needs to be a thing yet. You know, we'll talk after the season. There'll be plenty of time to talk about that after the season.